I didn't make it.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Seth Miranda here, coming to you from 42 West 18th Street. This is not a green screen. That is Adorama. This is Mike Bubolo.
Hey-o.
Real name.
It is. Yeah.
And he's like one of those higher up guys at Sony. So we pulled him in here because they've had a monster release. The Sony a7V is upon us. You probably heard a bunch of stuff going on about that. Well, it's here. People are getting to touch and try it in the back over there. But we got a bunch of questions, right? And I'm going to kick this off with, first of all, I was there at the launch of the a7 III. Yeah. You want to talk about a big deal? You want to talk about like
that was the biggest deal at mirrorless.
The bench, the pin was shoved into the ground. You were talking about a $2,000 price point that was punching well above its weight. Yeah. To this day, you could still get an a7 III, and you're pretty much you're good, right?
I tell people that all the time. And that was the camera that kind of started it all for mirrorless too, because that was the first mirrorless camera to me, in my estimation, that outperformed digital SLRs. And it was like the jumping off point, not just for us to outperform digital SLRs, but you saw the rest of the industry going into it too. So the 7 Mark III and the 7 series in general was a big deal. Oops, sorry.
No, the 7 series is always like, I felt was the serious and attainable. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Of course, yeah.
So, and then the a7 IV came out, a little bump here and there, everything, right? This though, this one I think is a whole different story. We're talking about, I don't want to say from the ground up, but you're talking about new processor, new sensor. We're talking about more resolution, the screen changes. I mean, you have thrown pretty much everything that you could upgrade in this at this camera. And my first question is, number one, and if you don't know, we got a semi-stack sensor in here, but the new processor, I've always said the processor is like the new war, because you've got all this data, but now how do we make it faster, more efficient?
It's the brains of the camera. It controls everything.
So is it really a new processor, or is it a modified processor that's been out for a while?
It's 100% new, completely new processing engine. So it's one unified unit now. So when it came to everything since the 7S Mark III that brought out the BIONZ XR processing engine, then all of a sudden with the 7R5, we couldn't add more power to that processor because you didn't want to take any more bandwidth away to do subject recognition, etc. So with the 7R5, we came out with a dedicated AI processing unit. And that has its drawbacks in terms of power draw and things like that. So it was time that we created a new processing engine, and this camera has the BIONZ XR2, which is faster, it's more powerful, it has the AI built in, and it's significantly more efficient. So not only do we have one single unified unit now, but it's more powerful than the BIONZ XR, it's more powerful than the BIONZ XR plus the AI, it's faster, and it's 30% more efficient, and it gets double the battery life of competitors and about 40% better battery life than the 7R Mark V.
People don't understand how important the efficiency is. I mean, you're talking about not just power draw, heat, and you're talking about being able to get most out of what you're creating from the sensor, you know? But my question to you is, and this might be me, you might want to punch me in the face. We always, as long as I've been in this industry, it always started out the new processor, the new guts was started up top and then trickled down. This is easily not really a flagship, but it's scratching at a flagship. Yeah. So I got to ask, like, why was this the camera that got the processor up?
We had it. So like, Sony is good.
I got to give it to you. That's honest.
Create something, we're going to put it in what we can, right? Okay. And this is a really important camera. I mean, it says multiple things, because this camera, to me, is one of the most important cameras in the lineup, if not the most important camera in the lineup, because it's the camera that most people use. It's our best-selling camera because it hits a price point that gives you unbelievable features for a price point that is half of what our flagships are. Our flagships are flagships for a reason, because they can do things that this camera can't. But this camera can do a lot of what those cameras can do. So it's really important for us. And it was really important to make a new chip, the highest resolution partially stacked sensor, and to put our latest BIONZ XR2 processing engine, because we just want to step up. We want to do something new. We do want to hold back. We didn't hold back, performance in terms of the sensor. We didn't hold back in terms of performance of the processor, because that's what gives you the best real life results, are those two things. And that's what makes this camera special, is that sensor and that processor. And of course, all the cool features that we've introduced, but those two things, without those two things, we can't be doing what this camera does, and this camera wouldn't be special.
Yeah, I mean, that's what makes the cameras, in my opinion, because the features here and there, but everything derives from the ability of the processing. Yeah. But the semi-stack sensor was really interesting, because I think we've come into this world of what's the rolling shutter like. Yeah. When you're going past a certain frames per second stills wise, you start going to electronic shutter. Electronic shutter is the readout speed of that sensor. Yeah. You're talking about going not fully stacked, so you're saving some price point. Yep. You're getting the speed, and then you're able to. I mean, what I thought was interesting was blackout-free shooting.
Yes.
That's not always the case with semi-stacked sensor cameras.
Correct.
So is that legitimate? Are we throwing JPEGs in there? Are you playing some shadow games with me?
No mind games here.
Is there 3-card money going on?
First of all, blackout-free to me, this camera, what I say about this camera, what makes this camera such a big step up is because that partially stacked sensor that enables it to make this a fully electronic camera. And as you know, having a fully electronic camera is awesome because it's silent. It gives you the ability to shoot faster and be able to have very minimal rolling shutter. There's no such thing as no rolling shutter unless using a 9 Mark III. But it gives you the ability to do things that you just normally wouldn't be able to do. And one of those things is 30 frames per second without blackout. And you can do it in 14-bit RAW, not 12-bit RAW like some of our competitors do, but 14-bit RAW. So there really is no trade-off to it. I mean, the trade-off is that if you're in 10 frames per second, you have unlimited buffer, where if you're in 30 frames per second, you have a 200 frame buffer. So there is a trade-off in terms of shooting at 30 frames per second. But in electronic shutter, you can do it at 14 frames per second. You can do it, you can do it at 30 frames per second and 14-bit RAW, and everything is the same as if you're doing mechanical shutter.
Yeah, but one thing people don't talk about is that when you're leaning on the electronic shutter so much, you're taking down actual wear and tear. And your shutter count, technically, yes, there's an electronic shutter count, sort of, not really. Kind of, yeah. But in mechanical shutter count is the value of the camera in some cases when you go to trading. So it's like you're kind of investing into this one a little bit. The pre-capture, though, is very interesting. Yep. So that's full RAW.
Full RAW, yep. And pre-capture, to me, we weren't the first ones to come out with pre-capture, but we do it differently. So it's full RAW, and you can change your frame rate. So you can do it at any frame rate. You're not locked into only 30 frames per second. If I want to shoot at 5 frames per second, I can do pre-capture at 5 frames per second. And I can also change my timing for it, anywhere from 3/100ths of a second to a full second, because you might have missed the shutter by a full second. You should probably work on some timing, but it gives you that ability.
The camera does it for me, bro. What are you talking about?
But there's so many images that I look at and I'm reviewing and I'm like, that's the shot. And I see the freaking asterisk on the top. I'm like, damn it. I would have missed it again if I didn't have pre-capture. But pre-capture without limits and gives you a lot more usability than what you get normally.
With all those frames, does this do what the A9 III does and makes them into like separate folder packages?
You can change that. You can turn that on or off. Some people don't like it. Some people do. But so when you shoot a burst, in playback, it'll show you that burst, and that way you can play it back as a movie and then pause it and then find that frame that you want, because it's a lot of frames.
So you're touching on features that are in monster flagship level cameras, A1 II, A9 III type stuff. Not that's a global shutter, but
speed boost.
Yeah, the speed boost is cool because if you want it, you want to get that extra frames per second. You press a custom, but well, I don't think this has the.
No, it doesn't have the one on the front, but so I just set it up to AF on. I don't use the AF on button. If you don't, like, you can use the AEL button, so that way. You don't always need to be shooting at 30 frames per second. Where people think that you do or not, most cases you're just making your life hell afterwards because you have to cull through all those images. So I'll shoot at 5 or 10, and then I have my action button, I like to call it, the speed boost. So that way I know action's about to happen. I can press that button without taking my finger off the shutter, just press that button in, and while I'm pressing it in, I get 30 frames per second, and as soon as I release it, I go back.
You don't have to drop the camera at all. That's a big thing.
While you're looking, you don't even have to take my finger off the shutter.
Right.
So all I have to do is go like, tap, 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 and then that's all I have to do.
So if you're shooting like an event, not just a sport, but an event itself, you're taking a few slower frames per second shots of what's going on. Then, like the key is like they never stop the workflow. You're always in it, and that's when you start pulling the frames you want.
Like you didn't know the bride was going to throw the cake in the face, and all of a sudden she does. I'm ready at 30 frames per second right here. Like I can do that.
So the other thing is that you're at a higher resolution, which means bigger files. But you also, I don't know if I read this right. You do have a new smaller RAW file.
There is.
Okay.
So and we have 3 RAW types, and there's the new one that's just more efficient, really, because you're getting better image quality with the same amount of compression. So as we were before, so it's just a nice median instead of having to go full on lossless compressed as opposed to full compressed.
And what is this RAW composite that I saw listed? What is that about?
So Composite RAW, you can do it for HDR or for high ISO. We came out with it with the 9 Mark III, so you can do anywhere between 3 frames up to 16 frames. You set it up in the camera, it shoots a burst, and then you bring it into our Imaging Edge desktop software, and it's already in the metadata as that's part of the image. Like you took this in a sequence of HDR. Okay. So that you don't have to figure out which images are part of the HDR, which ones aren't. It already sees it and it compiles your HDR for you, or it compiles your high ISO. And the high ISO works really well because it takes 16 images and you'll get you can shoot at 100,000 and you can get an output of easily 800, 1600.
But so it's basically doing bracketing right?
Yeah, and the noise is different. So the HDR is doing bracketing. The noise is able to just come. I don't really know exactly how the noise works, so I'm not going to pretend like I do.
I brought this hack for you guys. I'm
yeah.
sorry. By the way, we're live, so you guys, if you're in the chat and you have questions, this is the time. I know that this is shipping, or what's going on with this.
So it starts to ship tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
so right now,
the day.
It's still in pre-order, and it's been pretty healthy. Adorama's still rocking it, so don't forget, you can go check out the link I put in the chat just now. What in Mike Bubolo's opinion, you've been through at Sony for
since before mirrorless was a thing.
Okay, so
A900.
Oh, the A mount, the wonderful A mount and transparent mirrors and such. So out of everything that you've been through in Sony, what is the standout for you in this A7V? What is the thing you're glad that they finally brought here?
It's the most well-rounded camera that I know of. It's as well-rounded as an α1 Mark II in terms of usability, because it does, at a price point that's under $3,000, that can do what this camera does. It's not just about having that partially stacked sensor that gives you fast readout speed that enables it to be an electronic camera, 30 frames per second, all that stuff, but it's able to do all of it without those compromises, being able to have those features without the asterisk so much, without having to be able to worry about what am I losing if I do this, having a stacked sensor that has better image quality and better dynamic range than non-stack sensor cameras, and having some of the best dynamic range that we've ever had.
Are you telling me you don't like the caveat game? To me, it's like the back of a cereal box. Like they'd show you an asterisk, then you go find the asterisk and be like, oh, only in this when I'm facing northwest under this temperature.
And it's upside down, like the answer key and some and it's just even things like video. Yeah, it's got oversampled 7K down to 4K video, but it's able to do it for like 2.5 hours, and you're able to get just everything that you need the camera to do. It does it. It's got the best subject recognition in the business. Everything that you throw with this camera, it's going to do a ridiculously good job. And that's what stands out, because there's always, I don't want to say a trade-off, but you're always making a decision of, oh, which camera would be best for me? This has this, this has this. This has everything. If obviously the α1 Mark II is better, but that's
higher
double
res,
the price. Yeah. But at 33 megapixels, it's 7,000.
Yeah,
so
it's up there, yeah.
That's what strikes me about this, that it is literally the most well-rounded camera that I've ever seen at Sony.
Look, can we talk about
general?
Can we talk about the card slots for a second? Because I think one of the questions we always get when I see people walk through here is, well, what do I need CFA for if it has SD? What would you say is the point you need to go with a CFA card?
The biggest thing for me is CFA. Your buffer recovers, I don't know the exact spec, but it recovers significantly faster. So you're shooting at 30 frames per second. 200 frames isn't so much when you're shooting at 30 frames per second. It fills up quickly, but it recovers 4 times faster, 6 times faster, because the read speed's significantly faster, and it's got the throughput that's much faster. So the CFA helps you with that, and also enables you to do 4K. It enables you to do slow and quick. So that way you can do 240, 120, and have it be able to be put into a file in the camera itself.
You want water? You want water, buddy?
No, I got some.
Oh, look at this guy. And it's smart water.
Like show a label. All right.
Not just any water. It's smart water.
And pH balance. 9.5.
I got to tell you, this one was a little bit of a frustrating launch. You guys were like, 2025 is almost over, quick. And they just slid this out the door at the final buzzer. I mean, this could not have come closer to the end of, you can leave it on the table. It's all right. We're not sponsored by Smart Water. It's okay. But
you could be. I'm just kidding.
I mean, we're talking about like literally Black Friday timing for release. I've never seen this from a major launch like this.
It was a tough launch, timing-wise, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a little nail bitey there. I was like, what could they be launching now? So someone in the chat is asking, is pre-capture available for both? Is pre-capture available for both mechanical and electronic shutter?
Nope, just electronic shutter.
Just electronic shutter, okay. And then they're saying, when will the first batch ship? A pre-ordered mine from Adorama?
It ships tomorrow.
It ships
if you
tomorrow.
pre-ordered it, you should have probably got a confirmation, and then you're probably going to receive it on your door tomorrow.
And I got to say, they're doing a pretty good job of actually making the camera and allocating it. It's not a shortage situation, I would say.
No. So I mean, we knew the demand was going to be high, so we produced high, right? So we produced as much as we can. I can't guarantee you that everyone's going to get one tomorrow, but I know that, for the people that pre-ordered from the beginning, your chances are very good for tomorrow. So
we were talking about this before, you and me, about readout speeds, and we were even talking about how if you crop the sensor, if you decide to shoot and crop, you get an even faster readout speed. Do you want to kind of explain that a little bit?
So it's a rolling shutter sensor. It's not like global shutter like the 9 Mark III. So you scan from top to bottom. Right. So If you scan from top to bottom on a full frame, you have more room to go. And it reads it. It's always doing the rolling shutter at the same exact speed. So that way, if I go to Super 35 now, it's only scanning now that Super 35 portion. So you're just going to get faster rolling shutter than you would in full frame. But this is already a less than 10 millisecond camera full frame. When you go down to Super 35, it's going to be significantly faster than that. So
that's why I got that 4K 120 rolling
yeah,
off of that sensor and crop mode, right?
Yeah, full HD 240. If people shoot full HD, it still looks pretty good though. So
I think we get stuck on numbers and specs and we forget that like what it's actually doing and what we're actually getting out of it
for. Yeah,
yeah. It's just kind of wild to me. They're like, oh no, oh there's a caveat. Is it a caveat or is it just what it does, right? So I think like this line is, you're right, has been so important, but this I think is the biggest jump that you've had in a line.
Yeah.
I really don't think it's an incremental update. I mean, when you talk about sensor, processor, features from flagships, this is easily the most significant updated that you've had.
It may, I might be
maybe
wrong,
across
but
from the
I'm maybe not wrong, but it's the first. We usually have the same sensor for 2 generations, right?
Okay.
But this is the first time we haven't. So like the 7.4 had its own 33 megapixel sensor. Now we have a stacked 33 megapixel sensor. So it was the first time that we haven't done that same sensor for 2 generations. So I think you're right. I think it's one of the biggest steps that we've had in a camera. And this is the camera to do it.
The A93 was
well, that was
from
huge.
The 2 to the 3 was a completely different animal.
But the 1 to 2 was different.
Yeah,
But yeah, the 2 to 3 was. I mean, it's not a same camera.
So what about grips? Because the battery grips.
So the grip is the same grip as the 7 Mark V.
Is
the
there
same
an
battery grip. Yeah, you can do the add-on grip. The same vertical grip as the A7 Mark V, the version 4 vertical grip.
Wait, no, that is the A7.
I'm sorry, the 7R Mark V. The same grip, vertical grip as the 7R Mark V.
So if you have that camera, you can just
your grip works.
between.
Yeah,
Okay,
and it's the
good.
version 4 battery grip. But the battery life on this camera is insanely good. It's the best battery life we've ever had in a Z series battery camera.
Sometimes you just want that bigger body too.
I agree, and it just. There's certain situations where you come in professionally like this and they're like, what are you doing? I'm paying you a lot of money. So I know people that have to add that grip just to make the camera look more professional, so to speak, or put their biggest lens on it when they show their customer and then swap out when they're actually shooting.
Can we talk about some of the glass? Because you guys have been putting out a lot of glass in the last couple of years. What in your opinion has been the most exciting lens you guys have put out?
50 to 150. It's the
you
best
didn't even
lens
think
I've ever used in my life.
Didn't even think. Well, I will say you did make a complete set with the 2 f2 lenses.
The 28 to 70 and the 50 to 150.
Yeah. So I think if you're like, let's say a wedding photographer and you're running 2 bodies, you're done.
That's all you need.
That's pretty much
no need
it.
for prime. Like the 50 to 150, I know it's expensive, but it's worth every penny because it goes beyond just sharpness of prime lenses.
Yeah, exactly. It's a zooming prime, basically. Yeah.
It's incredibly sharp. I mean, I hate when people say it's too sharp, but it might be too sharp. It's incredibly sharp. It focuses incredibly fast, and at f2 at 150 millimeters, you're getting greater depth of field than you do on the 135, and it's just silly. It's unreal. It's so good.
You're just silly. You're just stupid. Whatever. Oh my gosh. I mean, we got the Olympics, the Winter Olympics coming up.
Yeah.
We're probably going to see a lot of Sony glass out there.
You should, yeah.
Yeah, and I bet you that's one of those lenses that are going to be on a second body.
I mean, for hockey, for basketball, volleyball, that's not.
I think it's a great press
whatever
lens.
Hockey is. Well, basketball is too. So yeah.
I think it's a good press lens. You don't know where you're going to be, what you're going to be in, but you're always going to be in some kind of low light at some point. It's a good way to clean it up.
It's stinky good. It's really good. So even at 150, if you need more reach, even when you punch that thing into Super 35, it's the best lens ever. So.
The best lens ever. Wow. If you guys have any questions, that's why we're live. If you're watching this playback, you drop a comment, we'll try to answer it. But I really just wanted to get you in here because you're like the guy. Every time I have to go to a launch, not that I have to, but like every time I have the opportunity to go to a launch, it's Mike on stage with a suit going, hey,
he gets he's always there first. He's in the front row.
Well, it's my job.
It's just because of me, man.
No, I have to smell the cologne of Bubolo. No, but I mean, you really are the guy that delivers all the news of like what you guys have been working on.
Yeah.
You have probably been biting your tongue for like a year or two about something, and then you finally get to spill it all out there.
You'd be surprised. We don't know about it too early in advance, especially for this camera. Sometimes we do, sometimes not so much. But which makes it even more exciting, right? Because we get to learn about it and be able to. We're always secretly working on it because the engineers are always asking me questions, not about a specific camera, but about features, and I'm always like, what are you guys coming up with? What are you cooking up?
Were you sweating this one? Were you like, I hope it's this?
Yes, very much. So.
Then this lived up to
I thought it was going to have the same. I was worried it was going to have the same sensor as the 7.4, and I felt like that wasn't going to do it. So I'm glad that we knocked it out of the park and gave ourselves a new sensor. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think the readout was a little bit on that, but
the readout on the 7.4 wasn't great. So, and it's a great camera. If you're a still shooter, it's a really great camera. But for video purposes, it did have that slower rolling shutter, so it wasn't made for all video use cases. Where this, people forget about the advantage that a stack sensor camera gives you in video, right? So,
oh, you know what? Let's talk about this dual USB-C port actually. So let me ask you something, because one's for power, one's for data, right?
They can both be used for power or data, but yeah, one's can transfer data a lot faster.
So you can tether and power from one cable, or you have to do dual cable?
No, so you would use both cables. One's 10 gigabit per second, one's only 480 megabytes per second.
Really?
Yeah,
that's a huge discrepancy, man. That's like, and so how do you know? What do you?
So that's the thing.
One's melted, one's not. Like what?
One is for data transfer,
Yeah.
and the other one's essentially for power delivery. Even though they can both do power delivery at the same speed, this way you can do live streaming. So that way you can do data for one, you can do power delivery for the other. Even if you put it on a gimbal and you only need low data for one, and you can do power delivery for the other one. Whatever you want to do, it just is a lot easier because they're both the same interface.
Yeah, because you can do an RJ cable and then run power.
Exactly.
Do fine. Yeah. I think it's really interesting that you guys. This is also. I don't think I've seen this on any other Sony so far.
No, that's the first time in Sony.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are first time. There's Wi-Fi 6E in this now, so that way you're going to be able to have faster Wi-Fi. So it's our first camera to have it, so it's a little bit faster than what we have in any of our other cameras. It's got a third reference microphone, so it does noise cut in the camera itself to external microphones or the internal microphone. So that way, if you have traffic or air conditioning in the background, it'll cut it out. So there's a lot of firsts for alpha in this camera. It's got that same multi.
This is the best
4-way screen that we have in our higher end cameras.
Yeah, the best easily. Like, are you kidding me? Like, the whole do I like a tilt or a flip? It's like, now you don't got to even think about it. It's
and double the resolution screen than you get with the 7 Mark IV. It's touch compatible. It's got the swipe in, swipe out. It's just, that's what I'm saying. It's literally just has everything that you would want and everything that you need and everything.
So what do you say to users of like the higher end that says like, if this has the first, what about me that spent this much? Like, what do you say to those kind of guys?
I mean, if you bought an Alpha 1 Mark II, you already know that you have probably the best camera ever made. I mean, that camera being a fully stacked sensor camera scans faster than this camera. It's got more resolution than this camera. You can do raw video out with that camera. It's got 2 CF Express type cards. It's got the extra dials. Like, that camera is a flagship for a reason. It can capture even faster action than what you can do with this camera.
Do you think Sony's going to kind of pay attention to firmware updates and
we've been pretty good. We just announced 2 huge updates for the A1 Mark II, 9 Mark III, and some of the other cameras that gives a lot of features for those cameras. So there's we upped our firmware game last year, and we're going to continue to do so.
Yeah, I think your fan base has been pretty boisterous, and I think
think so too.
I don't think people understand how much goes into firmware. It's not just some guy in a back room typing code. It's like hundreds of people, and then beta testing through every variable to make sure it's safe. Like,
it takes a long time. We beta test firmware for years sometimes. Like, it takes a long time.
It's insane. The amount people don't understand what's inside these things. I get like, why are cameras so expensive? Because they're a supercomputer in a palm of your hand, and you don't want it to fail. How's that? There is someone in the chat asking, sorry if you covered this. Did you test LUTs with photos? And if you did, what do you think? I didn't.
I did not either.
Okay,
but you can do it. For one thing, it does have S-Cinetone. I'm a big fan of shooting JPEGs in S-Cinetone. It's like the best color science that we've ever had.
You shoot JPEG?
Sometimes, man. Got to.
Shooting, well, honestly, a lot of sports shooters have to shoot JPEG because you're going right to wire.
If you're shooting really fast, I still shoot a lot of JPEGs.
So. I actually, would it work if I hooked Ethernet up to USB-C to this? Would I be able to shoot straight to line like that?
I'd have to double check, but I don't see why I have to double check.
Because that's like the big thing about having Ethernet in the camera, right? So I'm wondering if you can do that with this. But this also is webcam enabled, right? It's got the
it's got the UVC codec, so you can do 4K with UVC out of this camera.
You can do 4K, what frame?
Webcam, 30p.
Okay, that's great. 4K webcam, and plug it in. And
it's just one cable. Boom, done. Well, or now you can do 2 cables and power at the same time. So.
Well, I think you'd even power. Oh, does it carry audio too?
It does. Yeah.
So. Do you remember those days where you need a dongle upon dongle and then separate your audio? Now it's just like a cable.
I do it all the time when I have to do presentations and I'm not at home in my computer. Like, I'll just have my little tabletop tripod, I'll connect one cable to my camera, and now I have, a cinematic looking webcam.
Sorry, I turned my head and there's Robbie from Sony slamming a donut in the back there. By the way, happy Hanukkah, everyone. There's donuts everywhere at Adorama for Hanukkah right now, so I am going to a sugar fit in a minute.
I don't have one yet. I'm waiting. I'm rewarding myself after this.
I do got to say, I really do commend Sony for literally looking at every aspect of the A7 and go, what can we do?
Yeah.
And you did it. You literally did keep on. I mean, there's not one thing on here that you didn't think of what you could update or make better or improve or include. And a lot of times you see in a mid-range, they go don't put that in. That's going to go to the flagship. Very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah. I think we're going to see this. First of all, I think this camera's going to have a lot of longevity. I don't think we're going to see an update to an like I say, A7 VI in a year.
Maybe not 4 years, hopefully, but
I don't. Well, where are we going to be? Where
the 7 Mark IV is pretty darn good. That's the other thing too. I mean, I shouldn't say this because we're having a new camera, but cameras last a long time for what your needs are. The 7 Mark IV is a really, really, really good camera, and that camera is going to come down in price similar to where it is now.
So what I think
it's a crazy good camera
is we're in that era of mirrorless where the camera we're upgrading from can now become the second camera because it's still as capable.
Yeah.
It's not like before where it's no, it's missing. It doesn't have the overheat, the power. No, we're there, right? There's a question in the chat. Will the LAE-A5 adapter, rolls off the tongue, work as well with it did as the A7C2? Also, will they make a new adapter in the future that will work with video like the LA blah, blah, blah?
The LAE5 worked just fine. If you have your A-mount lenses, it'll work great. So
that's great.
It should work. I mean, it should actually technically work a little bit better because the focus on this is significantly better than it was on the 7 Mark IV. So, and you'll have subject detection and everything.
Oh, Omar's in the chat asking about OpenGate with a million question marks.
We can talk about OpenGate.
Let's talk about OpenGate.
So there, obviously, it's no secret. Obviously, our biggest competitor, Canon, came out with a camera that has OpenGate and has 7K and it has internal RAW, and we know that that's there. And we have this camera that doesn't have any of those three things. But we wanted to put our money, let's say, into a new sensor, into a new processor, and to be able to make our 4K as good as possible, like putting in the same heatsink that we have in an Alpha 1 Mark II, being able to record up to 3 hours of video in 4K 60p, being able to do...
It's also oversampled. It's not just 4K.
It's 7K oversampled 4K, full width of the sensor. That gives you the ability to have unbelievable subject recognition, be able to have faster scan out of the sensor itself, and just give you, I think, features that are more usable on frame to frame. Every day, single day, you're going to benefit from having that stack sensor. You're going to benefit from having that new processor. You're going to benefit if you're a videographer from having that heatsink. And I think those are things that are going to far outweigh the times that you use those other things. I think that if you do want those other types of features, honestly, and you use it more regularly, you should step up to a more professional video camera maybe. I would love to see some of those features come down and trickle down to this type of camera as well. We weren't quite ready for that just yet, but what we did do, I think, gives users more benefits for the general audience of who's using this camera. So as much as I would like to see those features, we're just not quite ready yet in this type of camera.
That's fair. Someone is asking, since micro USB port was replaced by a second USB-C port, what are the options for remote triggering with Pocket Wizard? Okay, that's interesting. Despite the unstable Wi-Fi Creators app or Bluetooth. Well, Pocket Wizard is its own remote. We have to trigger from a center pin.
So if you want to use, but there is a remote control to trigger your camera that's wired with the multi-control, with the multi. Now, obviously, we can't do that. So you can use the app on your phone, not wirelessly, but via USB. So that way you don't have to have any internet connection. There's no wireless connection. You're just simply controlling it from your phone to the camera with a USB cable, which works flawlessly.
Yeah, I mean, if it's hardwired, what else could you ask for?
And I haven't tried adapters yet, but I've heard some other people use adapters that may or may not work. So give it a shot.
No, we're going to find out more and more about this camera as we go forward, and people put into all these unique use cases for sure, just like any other release. But I think looking at it as it sits, as you skated it out the door at the buzzer of 2025, I can't believe you did it. Like when I got that call, I was like, what? Yeah. No, we're over news releases, bro. We're done. It's like, what do you mean they're going to tease something during Black Friday? Come on. And then you put this out there.
Announcing it. Yeah.
Bro, this Easter egg hunt thing you did, the treasure hunt or whatever, here's some... All you have to do is go to a camera store. Be like, that's there. it's like
you knew Adorama was going to have it. Come on.
Adorama definitely did have it. Robbie was definitely in attendance. Oh, you finished the donut. Good for you. Look at you.
Time for a second.
Look at that. Cleaned his face too. Amazing. Unbelievable.
If we both move, we'll just shift focus to him.
No, I locked this down, man. We're at 1.8, baby. I mean, this is a 16 1.8. So if someone's picking up this, if they're going like, I'm going into Sony.
Yep.
I don't have any E-mount glass. What would you suggest to them to go for a lens for this camera as a kit?
Depends on what you use. If you want something that's just more generic, more general, I like the compact lenses, like the 24 to 50 2.8, even the 24. If you're really looking into buying something that's going to last you for a really long time, 24 to 70 G Master version 2, but that's pricey, obviously. But the 1625, 24 to 50 2.8s are compact, they're small, they're light, and their image quality is pretty darn good.
Can we talk about this myth going around about the third-party lenses? Why are you being so mean to third-party lenses, Mike? What's going on with that?
We did see reviews online that some people's third-party lenses from one or two manufacturers aren't working with this new camera. Two things. I mean, it's a pre-production camera that they're testing out, obviously, without final firmware. I don't have final firmware yet.
You're not responsible for third-party lenses firmware. That's the reality of it.
That's also true. Like, if you're having issues, you should talk to the third-party manufacturer. I don't believe we did anything to the camera to purposely change anything. I've tested out, I'll call them out, every single Sigma, every single Tamron lens that when I came to the store and just like putting on lens, trying it, putting on lens, trying it, and everything's working out great. I didn't have a chance to try out all third-party lenses, but I think that there's
a difference in third party.
Yeah.
So you either go with a third party that actually has a partnership with the native brand, which has the protocol that actually has the communication, the lines of code and all that, or you're doing third party that may work, but they essentially reverse engineer as they go. So this is a brand new camera, which means brand new
sensor. So that's the biggest thing. The brand new sensor can trick certain lenses, right? Because it's new algorithms, it's new communication. So a lens that may have worked before may not work now unless that lens gets a firmware update to communicate better with this processor. So, and that could be the simple fix. It's not like it's never going to work, but that manufacturer needs to provide an update, if possible, hopefully, to be able to make that lens work. So it wasn't obviously something that I can't say that we obviously did, but I'm very confident that we didn't intentionally do that.
I just love drama during prototype. Like, they don't understand these are betas, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love the drama. Like, it's like, it's not even out. Like, breathe for a second. Give it a second. You know, you didn't even get it yet, and you're causing drama.
You could only just process RAW starting last week, so it's like
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, it's pre-production, very pre-production. So
oh man, yeah. No, I just wanted to give you a chance to come in here, say what's up, give us an overview, awesome. Address some of the things.
The camera that's on me all the time now. The subject recognition. I always say this, but like every single time it becomes more and more true. It literally is cheating. That you just point the camera at anything and it focuses on it and finds your eye, even if you're wearing a helmet. Or today, like this week when we had snow, my son was wearing like the face thing and the hat, and he was in snow falling in front of his face, and it was nailing his eye every single frame at 30 frames per second the entire time. No matter what I did, I couldn't trick the camera to not focus on him. It was stinking good.
I'm just glad he wasn't stuck in Minecraft and he got out there. It was actually a child.
Oh man, it was like 14 hours of snow. It was great.
14 hours of snow?
As he couldn't even sleep at night because he was like, snow.
That's pretty rad though.
December snow is fun snow.
Well, we're only going to get a couple of moments of it, I think. I don't know.
We're going to have lots of snow this year.
You think so?
It's gonna be great. I love snow. So.
Are you just doing like a snow dance outside your house every day or something like that? Guys, the link to the A7V pre-order is down below, but pre-order is very short here. I'm talking about shipping tomorrow. So if you're looking at it, if you didn't get your answer to the question here, drop a comment down below. Mike, I just want to say thanks for coming by.
Appreciate it.
And I guess we'll see you on the next launch, I guess. No, you got to come. You can come in here.
You got to rest a little bit. This is a big launch, man.
You can book something in here. You can be all like,
I'm Bubolo all the time. I'll be happy to talk. Yeah.
I see Robbie all the time. Jim lives here.
Jim does live here. I'm surprised Jim's not polishing off those donuts. I'm surprised you don't see Jim in there.
Oh, leave Jim alone with the donuts. Look at him. Anyway, guys, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe. This is the events channel, not the main channel. So every live stream we do out of here, like my demo last night or 2 years of classes are on this channel. Hit subscribe. Don't forget to like, share the video around. And Mike.
Appreciate it.
Be good.
Thanks.
Be good, guys. We'll see you later.